We hear a lot, oh, I'm not quite ready, I'm 6 months or so out before I want to buy a house. But what is a realistic timeline of a home purchase? Let's say you are ready now. You've made up your mind and you want to purchase a home. If you start per our suggestion and will look for a realtor first, then you can count on about a week or two, depends on how many realtors you interview and how fast you think you can make a decision. Then you'll need a financial specialist if you plan on consulting with a few of them before getting pre-approval or pre-qualification. It will take you 2 to 4 weeks. This timeline will depend on how accessible all of the documents are and that the lender will request, how busy you are at work, and how long it will take to get a hold of your boss or HR for the employment verification. Some buyers think it is a fairly easy process, others thinking that applying for a loan is a full-time job and it shouldn't take more than a few months. However, there's always the first time.
When you have a pre-qualification letter, time to go shopping for your house. This process may definitely depend on your expectations and the criteria. It could take a week or several months. If you have a specific area in mind and there are not as many homes, or maybe you're looking at a below average market price point, give yourself several months to find the home you like. If you'd like to buy a house in a certain part of town and are not looking for specific schools or in a small search area, have an average price point, you might find something a bit sooner. And if you were looking at a higher price point, well, we may be back to several months of looking. Please know that this is an average timeline. Your specific timeline may vary, and we'll be happy to visit this scenario with you in your buyer strategy meeting. Next, you found the home, the sellers accepted your offer. Congratulations. We're under contract. This generally means it may take about 14 to 45 days, which may depend on what type of finance you have with your lender and what kind of lender you're working with. The most common time to close on a home is around 30 days. Looking at the absolute minimum timeline, if you start looking for a home now, you're looking at about a 2 to 3 month on average before you're in your new home. If you take your time with your realtor and lender interviews, if you need to get documents ready, this will take a little more time, especially if you're taking time to make your decision on the new home after the showings. It may increase your timeline to 5 or 6 months. That's if you start looking for a home now.
There are a few scenarios on the seller side that might postpone your closing for another few days or even up to a few months. Seller might need a closing on a certain day. They might need a post-occupancy agreement. They can ask to stay in the property after the closing for 2 to up to 59 days. You don't have to agree to any of it. It is all negotiable. It's just something you need to keep in mind. Also, the house that you're purchasing might have renters in it, and that will expand your closing date 3 to 4 months. There are special circumstances. They are not very common, but sometimes you do need to be aware of them. Overall, there is a lot of special circumstances involved, but no matter what it is, the day of the closing belongs to the buyer. So you will be able to walk away from the closing with the key to your new home. And feel free to check out the downloadable on what you need to do after you close on your home.
And I saved the best for last. When you close on your home, your first mortgage payment will be due typically 2 calendar months after closing, depending on when you close. I don't mean 60 days, I mean calendar months. If you close on January 1st, your first payment may be due March 1st. If you close on January 20th, your first payment may be due March 1st. Please clarify this with your lender. This might help you financially since you won't have to pay the mortgage potentially for the new month.